man has a hard time wanting to settle. And I'll tell you what, I think the dumbest man in this earth, and I'm so sorry that I'm using such a negative word. I know I'm a big fan of like not using strong negative labels such as stupid, dumb, but for the sake of this talk, I really want to blow that out, and I hope this helps you to choose wisely, think more carefully on what you really want to do with your romantic life. The thing is, the men who are the neediest, like the most, meaning the more codependent men, the more needy, like for the sake of like it's never enough, they're never satisfied, like they want more love all the time, they want different shapes, they want different tastes. These are typically the guys who end up like flirting with many different girls and they never settle, right? They have a hard time committing because they're afraid of losing their freedom, the freedom of choosing different flavors, different tastes. So for that, they prefer to just like keep mixing their energies with other people and experimenting life until they feel like they found the one or they've clicked. The thing is, they will never find the one or they will never click, because until they actually until they actually work on the part of themselves that keeps that flips them around, that keeps making them go, chase different things, that chase the aspect of them, until that part dies, they will continue to feed that aspect, and that aspect obviously is never gonna want them to settle. I mean, the reality is it's much easier to commit to settle with one girl instead of wandering around. When you're wandering around with different girls, you are exposing yourself to much more in life in terms of risks. And I'm not saying risks is a bad thing, because I am a big believer and advocate of taking risks, of trying new things and so forth. But I mean, like, exposing yourself to negative consequences for nothing. Like, there are risks that you're taking because it can bring so much good to you, and there are risks that you're taking that can only bring negatives to you, that there's no point on going through that, right? So like, if you want an example, I'll say like, you go to a party, and you go to multiple parties because you're single and you haven't found someone who you can like see on a regular basis and you can commit to. So what happens is you go on and on and you try to find the right girl, but you don't know the background of those girls at the party, right? You're just kind of following your gut, your intuition, the things that you don't even understand quite enough. Because that's another thing. A lot of people who have a hard time choosing and settling, they haven't quite found themselves yet. They don't know much about themselves. They have like limited self-awareness, meaning they think they are the body, they think they are their stories, they have like a story about themselves in their minds, and they're just completely deluded on their own word. So what happens is they will just like insist upon, finding someone there, and they have like a strong attraction towards the girl, and usually it's a sexual attraction, or sometimes it's a karmic connection that can really, really like connects them to this other person. And and that's the thing, right? Because like they want to feel like they want to go for what feels like the most excitement. And then the beginning, everything is beautiful until they get to know the reality of the other person, and then they start coming up with negative excuses, and the part of themselves that usually sabotage the process comes in action and will obviously destroy that whole connection. Because like I said, until you keep feeding the aspect of you that is never satisfied with, that is never enough, that will always judge, you won't ever be happy in any relationship. So what you have to start doing, if you want to free yourself from this samsara, because in a way you are on a rebirth every time you end a relationship and you try to start a new one, because ultimately this relationship is always with yourself. So when you're letting go of someone when you're letting go of someone else, you're letting go of a part of yourself until you meet that part of yourself again and you take it from there, even though you're not fully aware of that. And that's kind of mind-blowing for some of you who are starting to kind of like, oh yeah, I understand, because like right now, like things might start clicking on your psyche. You will realize that ultimately this whole thing is between you and God, and it's between you and yourself and your own energy. So choose wisely, my friend, and I really wish you to find someone that you could click with, you can connect with deeply, and get out of this samsara relationships. Thank you.